Macros. You've probably heard of macros at some point somewhere. You've heard someone say, oh, these are good macros, or oh, these don't fit my macros. What are they? Macros are macronutrients, the word macro meaning big or large, derived from Greek. It's really just what your food's made up of. So all food is made up of either carbs, fats, or proteins, nutrients. So carbs being stuff like rice, bread, fats being stuff like avocado, oil, and protein being stuff like beef, tofu. Within that you have micronutrients. If you break it down further, you have things like your vitamins and your minerals. So the small ones and the big ones. And above that, when you add all the macros together, which are calories, so calories, macros, micros. It's like how specific we're getting with what your food is made up of.
Calories, how we measure the energy your body gets from food. Macronutrients, the big nutrients in food, proteins, fats, and carbs. They have different energy values. Hypothetically, if 1 gram of chicken was pure protein, it would have 4 calories. However, it's got some fat and some water. If 1 gram of butter were pure fat, it would have 9 calories. Fat is an essential nutrient that you need to maintain for your hormones.
I like to think of macros as like a budget. Some people go through life without a budget. They have an idea of how much they make. They spend some money and they kind of keep it within
the limitations.
And maybe they're not saving as much as they want to, or maybe they're saving really well and they just kind of intuitively go with it. Same with macros. Some people don't track them at all. They maintain good physiques, they feel good, they look good. Lucky them. For me personally, if I don't have budgets or an idea of what's going on, same with my macros, it all just becomes a disaster. Maybe less so with money, but definitely with macros. Like if I don't have an idea of how much I get to eat or what's in what, my body just says keep eating. And when I was trying to gain weight, conversely, when I used to be super skinny, my body just kept going, no, we've got enough, when really I needed much more in order to put on muscle mass. So if you're someone that doesn't like guessing and you actually want to make sure you're doing something that works, understanding your macros is perfect for you. So how do I figure out my macros? There's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. I'd say if you're someone that's just, doing this in your free time, you're not massively overweight, you're not massively underweight, you're not preparing for a competition, you're just someone that wants to make a few changes, you can hop onto a free app like MyFitnessPal. It'll ask you for details like your height, your weight, how many times a week you work out, maybe how active you are in terms of your job, so you can figure out your daily expenditure. It might say, are you very sedentary? Are you sat at a desk all day? Are you a laborer? Are you someone that's constantly moving? And then it's going to spit out the calories that you should be eating, depending on your goal, whether it's to gain muscle mass, gain weight, lose body fat, maintain. It's going to spit out different numbers. Now, if you follow those calories without actually, so this is the calories, if you follow those calories without actually looking at the carbs, fats, and proteins within it, the specifics, you may actually hit your goals, so you may actually lose weight, but not in the best way. So for example, you may not maintain as much muscle mass when you're losing weight. You may not feel as full as you could in the process. You might be particularly hungry. You might lose strength. So it is important that you actually pay attention to the macronutrients, the split, in order to optimize the experience and get the most out of it. Same with gaining weight. It also varies according to whether you're a man or a woman, because women need more fat than men in order to maintain hormone levels. So there's a whole bunch of factors there, but I would use a free app like MyFitnessPal and just adhere to the macronutrient suggestions. I do find that paying attention to your fiber, which is a micronutrient, and you count it as part of your carbs, does make a big difference, because it's really hard to get enough fiber when you're eating crappy foods. So that is one thing that I actually would recommend really keeping an eye on, and making sure you're very well hydrated.